Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to cover how to make substrate and how to spawn to bulk. Two very important skills if you're trying to get into this hobby. Learning to make your own sub will save you a considerable amount of money over the long term, and unless you plan to grow only in bags, learning how to spawn to bulk is a mandatory prerequisite if you want to fruit anything. Let's start with substrate. For anyone that is completely new, you might not know what substrate is. It can mean different things in different situations. For growing a certain species of mushrooms, it refers to a material that is used to hold water and provide structure like scaffolding to growing mycelium, so it can fruit and produce mushrooms. It's simple to make and only has 3 ingredients: coco coir, vermiculite, and water. Substrate can be nutrient-rich material, but in our case, these ingredients have little to no nutrients. We don't need any nutrients in the substrate because the grain, like the brown rice spawn we made in a previous video, will provide all the nutrients the mycelium needs. The purpose of the substrate we're going to make is to provide water reservoir to the mycelium and provide mycelium with a flat surface to grow on. The first ingredient is cocoa. I recommend using bricks, but bags of loose cocoa work fine as well. Make sure they don't have any added microbes. If you don't have access to prepackaged cocoa, this method will likely not work for you. The brand I use is called coir. I will list a few different brands you can use in the description. Most pet stores with a reptile section sell these products. The second ingredient is vermiculite. Vermiculite holds some water, but more importantly it aerates the cocoa so it doesn't turn into a solid brick when it gets wet. You can find it in the gardening section. Fine and medium-sized grains are acceptable. Lastly, you will need water to hydrate the substrate. You will need a 5-gallon bucket with a lid to do this. You'll need a pot with a lid, as well as a measuring cup. You'll also need a heat source like a stove, so you can bring the water to a boil. To begin, we need to bring some water to a boil. We'll be boiling 16.5 quarts of water. I deal with the weight variance of the bricks by using more water than is needed. The excess water will just be squeezed out by hand when it's time to spawn to bulk. If you don't use enough water, the substrate will dry out too fast, so it's better to overdo it versus under. If you have to rehydrate during the grow, you will likely get poor performance from your mushrooms. Now we just need to put the pot of water on the stove and put a lid on it to reduce the amount of evaporation. We want to put the heat on high and bring it to a roaring boil. While we wait for the water to come to a boil, we can add 1 brick or 650 grams of cocoa to the 5-gallon bucket. Next, we need to add our 8 quarts of vermiculite to the bucket. Once the water comes to a boil, we can remove the lid from the pot and the bucket and pour the water into the bucket. Be careful not to burn yourself. Once the water is in, we can put the lid on the bucket. Once the lid is sealed, we can twist and rock the bucket to mix it up some. And now we just have to let it cool off. This takes about 8 hours. If you use it while it's hot, it can damage the mycelium. We're going to open the bucket of substrate. I recommend putting on gloves and sanitizing the gloves after you open the bucket. You could use your bare hands, just make sure to wash them well before you touch the substrate. But I'll say again that I recommend you use gloves and sanitize them. Once the lid is off the bucket, we want to reach in and mix the cocoa and vermiculite up. The substrate on the bottom is going to be more moist than the sub on top because of gravity, so make sure you mix it up well. After you mix it up a little, if you put your hand on the bottom and just lift the stuff from the bottom, the stuff on top will fall down and mix with the stuff on the bottom. Once it's all mixed up, we can get started. The ones I'm using in this video are a little different than the ones you buy at Walmart. I got these online because they have clear lids, which is nice because you can see into the shoebox. These things are really flimsy and hard to keep the lid on them once you pack everything down though. These are the last ones that I have, so I'm just using them to get rid of them. I'd recommend the 6-quart shoe boxes if you're still deciding on the size. They take up half the space a 12-quart does. The substrate will be thicker in a 6-quart than it will be in the 12-quart. The 6-quart seems to hold moisture better in my opinion, just because less surface area is exposed to the air. They both work just fine. You will need some trash bags. We're going to use these to line the shoe boxes before we put our sub and grain in it. This makes cleanup easier and the substrate easier to move, as well as helps prevent the possibility of side pins. You'll need a pair of scissors to cut the trash bag. You'll need a small container like a shoebox to hold excess water from the substrate. You'll need a marker for labeling the shoebox when we're done so you know what's growing in it. And you'll need 100% colonized grain spawn and the substrate we just made. We start by cutting the trash bags up. I unfold the whole bag. Don't open the bag, just lay it out. I cut all the edges off the bag so you can just pull it apart and have two separate pieces. I put one in one shoebox and I put the other in the other shoebox. Spread it out flat and try to push the middle into the shoebox. Then I put the lids on the shoeboxes so no dust or anything falls in them while we do the next step. So once the bags are in them and the lids are on, just move them to the side so we can move on to the next step. This substrate is going to be oversaturated, so we're going to grab handfuls and squeeze it over our empty container. We want to squeeze each handful until only a few drops come out. Once we have it at the desired moisture level, we're going to put it in the measuring cup. We want about a quart in the measuring cup, so grab another handful, squeeze it over the container until only a few drops come out, and then add it to the measuring cup. Repeat until the measuring cup is full to the 1 quart marker. Then we're going to add it to the shoebox with the liner in it. Repeat this entire process 2 more times, so we should have 3 quarts of substrate in the shoebox. Put the lid on the shoebox and then repeat the process with the second shoebox if you have one. You don't have to do 3 quarts, but I recommend not going below 2 quarts. If you don't use enough substrate, everything will dry out before it starts fruiting. Now it's time to get our spawn ready. We're going to use 2 pint jars of spawn per shoebox. Make sure that the 2 jars you use are the same strain. Do not mix strains up because it can cause it to perform very poorly. So again, make sure both pint jars are the same in each shoebox. Now we want to grab each jar individually and we're going to do a break and shake on each jar. This will make it much easier to mix with the substrate. Turn the jars frequently while you break them up. It makes it a little easier. Be careful not to bang them too hard because they're glass. Once they're all broken up, we want to get some paper towels and alcohol and a spray bottle. We want to sanitize the outside of the jars before we pour the spawn into the shoebox with the substrate. This is just to keep anything that might be on the jars from falling into the shoebox when we pour them in. Put both jars that are the same strain in each shoebox. Get the alcohol in the spray bottle and spray your gloves and re-sanitize them and let them air dry before we begin. We want to mix the spawn and substrate up as well as we can. We want it to all be evenly mixed. If you lift the substrate from the bottom, the rice on top will fall down to the bottom and make it easier to mix up. You can just grab handfuls and move it around and mix it up in the shoebox. Make sure not to knock or dump anything out of the shoebox. Try to make sure it's as evenly mixed as you can. You don't want a lot of spawn on one side and only a little on the other. The better you mix it, the better it's going to colonize. Once it's all mixed up, we want to lightly pack it all down. Now you need to change your gloves and re-sanitize them. We want to switch gloves because the gloves you're wearing have touched the mycelium and likely have small amounts of mycelium on them. If you mix that with the clean substrate, you could contaminate the next shoeboxes with mycelium from a different strain. This can cause you to have unnecessary competition in the shoebox. It's the same reason you don't want to mix strains with the jars. If you have 2 or more separate strains growing in the same shoebox, they will compete for resources. They won't kill or hurt each other, but they won't grow together either. This can result in poor performance and uneven flushes. Also, one of the strains could be contaminated with something else that might not be visible or apparent. You change your gloves to prevent cross-contamination. What we're going to do is get a little more substrate from the bucket, squeeze the excess water out, and we're going to put it right on top of the substrate in the grain we just lightly packed down. We're going to put a pseudo casing on each shoebox. We just need enough substrate to cover the entire top of the substrate in the shoebox. It doesn't have to be a thick layer, we just want enough to completely cover the top. This will help a bit keep moisture in and will also cover up any rice that might be exposed to the air. Once it's all covered up, we can lightly pack it all back down again. Firm, but not as hard as you can. Now that everything is packed down, we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut off all the excess part of the bag. We want to cut it an inch or so above the substrate. Try not to cut it too short because you won't be able to grab it later. Cut it all the way around the shoebox. If you have sharp scissors, you can just run them through the bag. Mine are dull, so I have to actually cut the bag some. This can make tiny pieces of bag that get in the substrate. Try to remove them if you have them. Don't worry if you unpack the sub some, because we're going to pack it all back down when we're done. Now, we just need to pack it all back down. Pack it down firmly, but not as hard as you can. Make sure to get the corners. Try to pack it down evenly and make it as flat and as level as possible. You can hold the bag with your other hand just to keep it from falling down. It makes packing it down a bit easier. Continue until all of it is packed back down again. Once you're done, we can put the lid on the shoebox and then label the shoebox with a marker. You can use a piece of tape to put on the shoebox so you don't mark it up. Then we repeat the same process with the remaining shoeboxes. And that's it. That's how to make substrate and spawn to bulk. The next step is fruiting. I'll be making a separate video covering the process with the 2 shoeboxes that we made in this video. We can take a look at how they're coming along as I wrap this up. It will take another week or so for them to finish. If you have any questions about anything or would like something explained further, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll include my email in the description as well. I don't belittle or talk down to anyone. There are no stupid questions, so don't be afraid to ask for help. I'm not an expert, but I've been growing for about 3 years now, so I can help with all the basic stuff. I hope everyone has a great day. Thanks for watching my video.